Hey everyone, I know that wrestling isn't everyone's cup of tea for those people who want the sports part of the sports and entertainment and BAM. This podcast is for you. I'm going to be taking out the sports talk, making it into a micro podcast just for you sports fans. So you don't have to listen to us talk and and navigate through wrestling, especially if that's something that you're not interested to. So hopefully this is something that you will download every week. Hopefully, this is something that you want. Let me know what you think, and I'll keep doing these mini podcasts where I extract the sports chat out of the sports entertainment episode. So enjoy. This episode of BAM Sports and Entertainment is dedicated to the memory of beautiful Bobby Eaton. And welcome to the latest episode of BAM Sports Entertainment. That's Boris and Matt Sports Entertainment. We're your hosts, Boris, and I'm joined by Matt.
Bonjour! How's everybody doing out there? We hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful August night in the city, Boris. That's a perfect song for right now. Feel like I'm in a convertible cruising, even though I am not anywhere near a convertible.
You are far from one, to say the least.
Extremely. How are you doing today, big homie?
I'm doing really good, man. I'm doing really good. It's been a crazy week. Apologies on getting the episode out a little later, but like we talked about on NXT Talk, real life happens sometimes, and we just needed to record a little later. So, the hope is that Thursday mornings these episodes are going to be coming out. More often than not, they will, but sometimes things happen, so that's that. But overall, things are going really well. Have some pretty good plans for the weekend. Doing something Saturday. I don't know what, though. So that's that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mystery plans.
Yeah.
The mystery box. Always good.
Yep, pretty much. How about you? What's going on?
Not too much, man. Yeah, last night I was up very late working on my latest Operation Sports video, so that's good. I also I got a kind of long distance lady friend thing going on right now with an old friend from Portland, and I don't know, we kind of rekindled things a little bit during the pandemic. So I don't know, it's not like it's like you say, lady friend. It's not like a full relationship. We're kind of like single with an understanding. Anyway, Boris, I'll probably Skype her tonight, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yep.
Figure out something to do this weekend. You know how it is.
I know
slugging
exactly
away.
How it is. I know exactly how it is. Things are going really well. There's a lot going on in the world of sports. Yeah, it's been crazy. I guess we should just get started because I feel like there's a lot to talk about. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about the big headlines in sports over the past week. We are going to be reviewing ROH and then our retro review from a listener, which was the Royal Rumble 1993.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any listener requests we will entertain, and I want to eventually get to literally anything that anyone asks us to review, any show, any single match, anything tangentially related to pro wrestling. If there's an episode of a TV show, I'll watch The Boy Meets World with Vader and Mankind and Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yep. Exactly. What's really cool is that even on the SNME Radio Facebook group, sometimes ideas pop up. Like earlier today, worst tropes in wrestling today.
Yeah, exactly. That would be an awesome top 5 or top 10. I am the king of the lists over at Operation Sports. That's what I do there. So I'd love to whip up a list for this here podcast, Boris. We can definitely do that in a week or two.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun just to kind of get some new stuff going in. And obviously, we're going to be talking about ROH. We'll talk about NWA because I think I'm going to start watching NWA as we lead into the big all-women's pay-per-view and the huge anniversary show.
Nice.
So, yeah, I think we'll be talking about those a little more. And then, anything big coming up because next weekend we have Triple Mania. So, we're going to try to watch that, do a review for that. But this week we wanted to change things up a little bit, get a listener review in. And so that's why we're doing Royal Rumble. So world of sports. What a week it's been in the world of sports. Let's start with some local news. Let's talk some Blue Jays. So, well, I guess before we go specifically into the Blue Jays, let's talk about the trade deadline. I met up randomly with Jason Agnew on the subway post Jays game last Friday, and we were talking about kind of like, the trade deadline. And he brought up a great point that, it didn't actually click until he said it. And that's the fact that, was it just me, or is this year been huge in terms of big name moves?
No, it has been more so than usual. This was like kind of similar to the old NHL trade deadlines. Like, you saw a lot of big movement and you saw a lot of people looking to buy. You know what I mean? The NHL trade deadline used to be the main event. It used to be the best trade deadline for almost 15, 20 years. And it's slowly deteriorated since the salary cap has come in. And now, honestly, basketball and baseball and arguably football, Boris, have all surpassed it in terms of trade deadline excitement.
What's interesting is football, NFL, because for the longest time, it would be very rare for a player to move teams. They might move teams once, but now it's like every other sport, right? Like they go through their contract and chances are they're going to leave or they get traded mid-contract. It's crazy seeing the movement in the NFL. It's something that personally I'm not used to because, growing up watching the NFL, it was just something that never really happened too much.
Absolutely. Trading, especially. You do see player movement here and there, or you did rather in the olden days, Joe Montana did play for the Kansas City Chiefs near the end of his career.
Yes.
You saw it rarely, but these guys didn't get traded like they do now. You know what I mean? Like, big names getting traded from team to team. Julio Jones, for example, like big names.
Yeah, it's legit. It's crazy. To me, it's absolutely crazy. It's insane. But, it's the nature of CBAs. It's the nature of free agent market and whatnot. So, good for the players. They're getting paid. These guys have a limited amount of time to get paid. So, might as well get paid and have fun doing it while they're at it. But, yeah,
get
MLB.
that bag, man. Yeah, get that bag. Get that bag as soon as you possibly can. But to your original point, man, the MLB trade deadline, super exciting this year. Big names. And the Jays got a couple of them.
Yep, exactly. So 10 All-Stars from the 2021 All-Star game were traded, including Max Scherzer, Trey Turner, both going to a team near and dear to my heart, the LA Dodgers. It's crazy. It's crazy. 10 All-Stars were moved.
That's huge. Yeah, and the Jays got a couple pitchers. They needed at least one starter and one quality reliever. They got both. I like Brad Hand a lot. Lefty out of the bullpen. He's closed for a lot of his career. It's a really dependable guy. Seems to be like the exact piece that the Blue Jays needed right now. And Jose Barrios could be an ace, man. So, yeah, it's two great additions for the Toronto Blue Jays at this deadline.
Yeah, no, it's really good moves. The pitching is exactly what we needed. So even someone like a Trevor Hand, right? That they're going to work out really well, hopefully, with us. And we'll see kind of what happens. What's awesome with Barrios is that we control him for 2 years. Hand is literally just rent the player, but that's all right. And it'll be interesting to kind of see what happens with Biggio and Simeon's contract and all that in the offseason. But I think we're in a good position to make a hell of a run in this here second half of the MLB season.
Yeah, I think we'll keep one of those two guys. I hope it's Simeon over Biggio. God bless Biggio, but Simeon's having bottom tier MVP quality season, 6 or 7 on your MVP ballot kind of season.
Yeah.
Still incredible. Still absolutely amazing.
Questionable defense, but that I think, the entire left side of the Blue Jays, unless Espinola's playing, the entire left side is very questionable.
Great call. Yeah, I love Santiago, man. He's great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll see what's going on with the Jays in the offseason. Like you said, I'm pretty sure they will make an attempt for Simeon, but we'll see what happens with Biggio. And what I've always said about Biggio is, let's see what Bo and Vladdy say about Biggio.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Biggio is never, ever going to be that important to the team because he has so many young guns who are so talented ahead of him. And it's not that Biggio isn't a talented player. He's a lifelong major leaguer. But you know what I mean? It's going to be tough for him to really make his way in Toronto with those studs in front of him.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, so far the Jays have been doing really well. They've only lost once since coming back home, which is exactly what we needed. They have quite a few home games. They have an easy second half schedule. So, things could be positive for them.
Yeah, big long homestand right now. Absolutely, man. Yeah, this is the time to strike, make up some ground.
Yep. So, yeah, that is essentially baseball talk, unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
B.A.M. Jays talk. Jays talk. No, if anybody in my fantasy team is listening to this, let me trade you Whit Merrifield because I don't have the room to keep him.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I doubt they are. I doubt they are. Go on.
Yes. So, let's talk some NBA. NBA free agent market is opening or has opened. Lakers making some interesting moves. I'm not quite sure what they're doing, but bringing in what's his face?
Russ, man. Yeah. They're trying to make Space Jam 3.0. They're making the sequel to the sequel. No, I get it, Russ. You know what it is? It's a regular season move. It's the ultimate all-time regular season move. Russell Westbrook will keep the ship afloat. He will get the stats. He will carry the ball up the court. He will rebound and do the dirty work, some of the dirty work that Anthony Davis doesn't want to do. And yeah, he's going to keep that team afloat through the regular season. And then once the playoffs come, LeBron will be like, thank you for your work, Russell. Now I will take the ball and please don't shoot us out of this series. But You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, LeBron wants people who care, and Russell Westbrook is an Allen Iverson type who would die for basketball. He would die on that court if it came to it. Like he is a warrior, top level competitor. And I think at this stage in his career, I think the good outweighs the bad, other than his $44 million contract or whatever.
Yeah, but it's the Lakers. It really doesn't matter to them. But it is what it is. And then our lovable Raptors are making moves. First off, Masai Ujiri is staying put. That's huge.
Let's talk about the good first. Yes, Masai is staying. He stay, Boris. He stay.
I had a feeling he was going to stay.
Yes,
just because of his heavy involvement with the free agent market and the draft. And I know that Masai is the type of person who would have stayed and done the job regardless. But I feel like that was a positive sign that he was still front and center.
The Scotty Barnes pick, especially, because that was quote unquote off the board a little bit, and it felt like Masai was like, no, this is my guy, this is our guy, we're taking him. And that kind of flag in the sand moment was like, well, maybe he is okay putting his roots down here,
Yeah,
I'm super enthused about Masai staying, man. He has my trust, and he's proven time and again to be a great drafter, great free agent signer. You know what I mean? He has an incredible eye for talent, and he's incredibly important to the NBA. It's actually great for the organization, for the city, that he's still here.
The PR work that he's done with his charity, and the work that he's done with Africa, and even the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that, right? It's unbelievable the good PR that he brings to not only the Raptors but the NBA as a whole.
Oh, man, 100% right. And that brings me to Kyle Lowry. And that one hurts big time, buddy, because Kyle Lowry is a real one. That man is a gem off the court and on the court. But in my previous life, I was an event coordinator, Boris, and I actually have worked the event, the Kyle Lowry Thanksgiving thing, where he feeds 500 families. And I'm not lying when I tell you, man, that guy walked around the community center talking to every little kid, shaking hands, taking pictures, feeding people, not feeding people themselves, but doling out the meals himself. That guy was he was the star of the show there, but it wasn't about him. He was just working the hardest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even at that charity event. And I seeing him walk around, just being pleasant, being such a hardworking guy. I was just man, we are so lucky to have a Kyle Lowry in our city. And then they won the title. The parade was something that I'll never forget. If anyone from Toronto was at that parade, you'll never forget it as long as you live. And yeah, man, it sucks for Toronto, but you know what? such is life. Nothing lasts forever. Sports is a business, and it is what it is, man. I hope he wins a title in Miami.
Yeah, same here. You know, I wish nothing but the best for him. You know, I'm just counting the days for them to announce that the statue is going to be outside of the ACC or Scotia Bank Arena or whatever it's called now.
Yep.
You know, it's he's going to be honored. You know he is. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sad that he and DeMar couldn't reunite. I'm actually glad Lowry didn't go to the Bulls because Miami does have a way better team and they kind of have a shot. I wish DeMar could have found his way to Miami instead of Chicago. God bless any Chicago fans listening. I don't think your Bulls are winning the title in the next 3 to 5 years. Perhaps I'm wrong on that one, Boris, but
I don't think you are, to be honest. I honestly do not think you are.
Yeah, man. Anyway, yeah, so Lowry, big loss for the city, but you know what? We got Precious Achiuwa out of it. We got Goran. I'm not sure if he's going to report to Toronto.
Yeah.
It's iffy on if he's ever going to play in this city. He could Alonzo Mourning us real hard.
I think he will.
Yeah. But that's okay. You know what? That's fine. Let him go chase a ring. We're building something here. And exactly. I love Scotty Barnes, man. If you look into Scotty Barnes, he is embracing Toronto. He loves this city. He wants to be here. He's the hardest working guy in the gym. He's got like the passing gene. We might play him at point guard. He's a great addition.
Hey, you know, he reminds me of a Lowry, like the guy who just genuinely wants to be here. And that's who you want to build your team around. Someone who genuinely wants to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they say his like pro comp or whatever, they compare him to Draymond Green. And if he ends up being our Draymond Green and we have OG and whatever happens with Pascal and Fred, man, the team's in a decent place.
Yep.
It's in a decent place.
Just a little while ago, it was reported that Khem Birch is signed a 3-year, $20 million contract with the Raptors.
Quebec boy, Montreal's own. Love me some Khem Birch.
Yep. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, you know, Raptors are already making moves. Like they're trying to get something in place, which is great. You know, and yes, it's a soft rebuild. It's not a full-on rebuild in my opinion. It's a soft rebuild, similar to what the Jays did.
Yep.
You know, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's kind of a soft rebuild on the fly. It's a quick retool. They're gonna like lay in the shadows for a year or two, and watch out for the Raptors in 2024.
Yeah, exactly. And then so yeah, tons of stuff with the Raptors. We'll be talking about them, I'm sure, a lot more. Let's talk some soccer because
this is
Friday. Hold on, Friday morning. It is a huge game. Canada is finally in the gold medal game. They'll be facing an undefeated Swedish team, and we're talking about female women's soccer. So that's kind of exciting for a lot of people who have been following the women's game since, I would say, 2012, since that shit show of a game against the U.S. I know that a lot of people have been following the U.S. or the Canadian women's national team. So that's going to be a good game. It's on at 8 a.m. Eastern. So, you know, hopefully if you're listening to this before, you can watch it.
Awesome. What tomorrow morning? 8 a.m.
Friday
Eastern?
morning, 8 a.m.
Friday morning.
CBC.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah. And they dethroned the American women's team, which was really nice. Huge win. Although the American women's team has gotten pretty old. It was old for soccer, obviously. But yeah, they were an aged team. They were ripe for the picking. But Canadians, they picked them off, Boris.
Yep, they did. So that was actually really cool in the grand scheme of things. But I think the biggest news coming out of today, at the time of recording, is, you know, after it being reported that Lionel Messi was going to stay with Barcelona for a lot less money, it was reported today that he is in fact leaving Barcelona after financial and structural obstacles derailed the deal.
Yeah, it was going to be one of the richest in the history of soccer, perhaps the richest, right? And then here we are. They couldn't get it done, and now he's off to. Where is he off to? Miami? Miami FC to play for Beckham?
God, no. So here's the thing. He agreed to, and like at least verbally agreed to stay. They were going to restructure his contract. He was going to take a huge pay cut, but La Liga imposed a salary limit for the 2021 season, and Barcelona was told that they'd have to reduce its gargantuan wage, and further reductions are expected for the upcoming campaign. So, you know, there's it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I know as a fact that Barcelona is already a hurting club financially. So I think that this is really a sign of, look, we can't go into administration, so we need to do something. Administration is basically like, we're broke.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, it's a shocker.
Yeah.
So where does he end up?
Honestly, who knows? I really don't know. It's one of those things that I think a lot of clubs have their roster set. Like, clubs will obviously make room for Lionel Messi, but no one would have thought after 18 years of being with Barcelona he would have left. Especially when you consider that his previous contract was valued at 500 million euros. So. Yeah, it's ridiculous how much that man was paid. But I think just because of the suddenness of the talks falling apart, clubs are just going to try to make do. Now, I can honestly see him moving to England.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say for sure. Like, yeah, that would be somewhere in England would be my guess. But yeah, it's a tough chip to just slide into your team, like you said. Like, he's not gonna come cheap at all. So. Yeah. Be very, very interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. It's fuck. Who would have ever thought, right?
Definitely not me. Maybe if you play FIFA a lot, but not I, boys.
Nah, even then, there's no way. So Canada in the Olympics, they won the decathlon. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, how about Andre DeGrasse?
Yes. Winning the 200, going into the finals for the 4x100. So yeah, I watched the qualifier for the 4x100. Dude, he just we were like second to last, third to last, and he was the relay, like the final guy, and holy crap, did he just make up room? And we ended up tying China for first place in the heat.
Oh, he flies, man. It's so impressive to watch. His gold medal time was faster than Usain Bolt's in 2016. Like, he's not playing around. Yeah. DeGrasse is incredible.
Yeah, it's insane. He's so freaking good. He's so good. It's fun to watch him. And yeah, so we'll talk about we'll do a Olympics wrap up next week. Since it is ending this weekend, so we will do that. Anything else you want to talk about before we move into the world of wrestling?
No, I think that's a pretty good sports talk. There's exciting things on the horizon. We'll touch on that. I can't wait to see what NHL, what the hockey season is going to look like with Seattle and stuff. There's a lot of good, lots of movement in the NHL as well. But yeah, exciting times for sports. We'll see.
Yep. All right, let's move into the wide world of wrestling. All right, that was the sports part of B.A.M Sports and Entertainment. So hopefully you like the fact that I took out the sports chat, made it its own micro episode. Let me know if this is what you want. There are a few ways that you can find us. The best way is probably through our website. Actually, we have an email. The email is media@bamsportsentertainment.com. That's media@sportsentertainment.com. You can add us on Facebook. We're active on the Sunday Night's Main Event Radio group. That's at SNME Radio on Facebook. You can just find us there. Also on the website, we have a contact us, and that'll send you to our email. But there's a lot of ways that you can get a hold of us. And let me know what you think of the show. Let me know what you want us to talk about. If you have any requests, we're down. So hopefully you are happy with these micro episodes where we just talk sports. Until next time, good night.